Okay, just as a quick, I always like to start the workshop off with explaining what I would call the 4 basic rules of knife fighting. And you've probably heard every one of these, and many teachers explain them the same way or with slight differences, but I'd say anyone have an idea what they would be, or just the 4 guidelines, or yeah. Yeah, the first one would be, and this is, I've had different Filipino teachers express this, and I'm sure, although I've never heard Vladimir really articulate it, he probably would agree with these. The first rule would be try to avoid it. Try to avoid any fight, but particularly something like a knife fight is, one Filipino put it this way: you have 1 chance out of 3 to survive a knife fight. If the person is better than you, you're dead. If you're both as good as each other, you're both dead. And if you're better than him, he's dead, but you're probably in a hospital. Like winners drip, losers gush. So you just try to avoid a knife fight in general, because even no matter how good you get, a guy with a small knife can accidentally just waste you. Push-ups. Dan Asano puts it this way: imagine fighting a 50-year practitioner of a secret nerve point fighting art, where they can just shut down your nervous system by touching you almost anywhere in your limbs or body. That'd be kind of scary, wouldn't it? Well, a novice with a knife is equal to that person, because they don't need any speed or power. They just need to touch you with that knife, and they're shutting down your nervous system. So if you imagine training for years in a system like the Russian art or the Filipino Kali, you want to avoid a knife fight, number 1. Rule number 2, expect to bleed in a knife fight, because you probably will be. So if you just have this mental picture that you're going to be bleeding, you'll be less likely to go into shock from having a different expectation, like, I practice my moves and my disarm, so this guy's going to touch me, and then you're like leaking, you're going to go into shock. So if you just accept the idea that you're going to be bleeding, it's much less bad. The third rule is your opponent bleeds more than you. And that's just the type of determination you have to have. There's no such thing as a mellow knife fight. Whether you can break down an empty hand fight into a drunken, shoving brawl type thing to a really vicious and several levels in between. There's no such thing as a non-serious knife fight. So you just have to make sure that the person is basically going to be wasted. Fourth rule is a simple one: just use your environment, which means everything in you, on you, and around you. So if you can spit in his face, if you're bleeding, you're flicking your blood in his face, anything. Inside you, on you, obviously the belt, coins in your pocket, your clothing. You kick a shoe off if it's not a tight shoe, that could be put on your hand or thrown. And obviously anything you can pick up or smash the person into. I think, 2 times ago we did a workshop in the dumpster out there. Yeah. Not in it, but around it. I think one or two we got in it. Tables, stairwells are interesting to work in. You're getting used to steps and railings, or like a fire escape ladder. You never know where you'll find yourself a ledge like that. We might do a little bit of that today, just to fool around with it. So, your environment is a huge consideration. Most of you probably seen Vladimir's tape on close fighting, against a wall or a desk. So those are the basic concepts, and they give you like an internal philosophy to govern your physical actions. And if you don't have like an internal framework, you're going to make a stupid decision. Maybe you'll get drawn into something. Or you didn't have that breakdown, you're with your girlfriend maybe, or your wife, some gangbanger spits in her face, and he has a dull knife. You want to take him out, you'd be an idiot too. You better just run and forget the pride thing. So that framework gives you, it'll affect your choices. So